want to introduce Vinay and Lohith. And their session is, if you want to, can we have the slides, please? Next one. So this session is really interesting, right? So a lot of people tell you that if you have 1 million users, 10 million users, 100 million users, you can just run ads on them and make money. And if you connect back to the panel discussion that we had, a lot of developers were actually telling why they're not able to make money from ads the way they thought they could. So this session is about the 7 sins of advertising, really. So Vinay and Lohith are going to cover what are the 7 sins that developers do and how could you avoid it. And it's going to be a very interactive session, so feel free to, we can do it slightly differently, where feel free to just jot down all of it and we could attack each of those sins separately at the Q&A time if you guys have specific questions on any of them. So quick intro on Vinay. Vinay and Lohith basically work with a team which we all feel very envious about, right? So they have like 2,000 mobile devices that they work on. They are the ones who get the best devices the earliest, sometimes even before they're released in the market. So they're always hanging around with iPads and iPad minis and Surface tablets and all of that. The reason they do that is they're trying to build advertising solutions for every single platform out there, including some platforms that are yet to become mainstream. I think I see Lohith always hacking away on a TV because he believes that connected TVs are going to be the next big thing. So that's the intro to Lohith and Vinay. Over to Vinay. Thanks.
Thanks, Ashwin. Hey guys. Is it okay now? No. Is it okay? This is okay, guys?
Yep.
All right. Thank you for joining, everyone. My name is Vinay Uttamchandani. I work as the product manager at InMobi. What we really wanted to cover today with you guys was to talk about what we are seeing in the industry. Now, we work with a lot of developers globally. We see that most of the developers come to us and ask us, how do I really make money from ads? So that's what this session is about. We want to cover about how you can make more money. We'll share all our insights and observations with you, and we'll take some questions later on. Now, mobile is really personal. What we are really seeing out there is users are carrying mobile devices with them everywhere. While they're watching TV, while they are going on shopping, while socializing, each and everywhere they go, they are carrying a device with them. So, interestingly, what we have also noticed that we have done some surveys, and we have observed that 70% of the users are carrying or using a mobile device when they're watching a television. Now, that's pretty interesting because I don't have to actually go very far to know that, because I end up using my iPad all the time, while I'm watching a TV. Although I don't like the TV serials which my mom sees, but I end up using a device. I like watching videos over there. I end up playing with the device a lot. Now, how do we know this? So we are also watching across, like we see about 3 billion data points each day. We are watching all these signals out. We are seeing how users are interacting with ads. So advertisers are also liking this. Advertisers absolutely love these capabilities. In one of the studies, we actually had seen that in the US, that mobile users, 59% of them saw that they were convinced about buying a device or a consumer. They were intent for purchase after they saw an ad on a mobile device. And then we saw that there was a 57% for the TV, which actually means that the ads are working. Users are getting engaged with the ads on mobile devices, and that's something which advertisers are liking. Advertisers get an unparalleled targeting experiences on the mobile device. They are able to utilize all of that, get the messages right to the consumers, and show it ads in the relevant context where they are traveling. So all of that is available through mobile today. Now, before we get started, let's understand some of the basics. So what are these basics? You're just starting up. You need to know what advertising really is, and these are some of the things which you will keep on hearing across from whoever you try to work with. The first one is the ECPM. So ECPM is actually telling you the effective cost per 1,000 impressions. This is also being effectively used to get the accurate revenue numbers and figure out how much actually you will make as you grow in the game. Now revenue. This is your bread and butter, guys. So you really need to know this well. So revenue is what you take home, and that's pretty much it. Keep on tracking that. Know what you're making. Impression. Impression is nothing but what when a consumer sees an ad, that's termed as an impression. What's a fill rate? So the amount of ads which are shown, and it's a matrix which is used to show you that you're sending a network like 1,000 impressions and how much he's filling out of it. So fill rate tells you exactly how much ads are there. CTR. CTR is nothing but click happening by a viewer, and it is being tracked really well by the advertisers. So they measure their campaigns and the performance based on the number of clicks which are happening on the ads. Refresh rate. This is a very popular feature. It is used by developers and publishers to understand and show a different ad in the same ad slot. Well, this is not so basic. It's pretty complicated, as you see right now. As the mobile ecosystem is growing, there are a lot of players out there, and it's getting extremely crowded. Something which you could skip for now, since you're just starting up, and all you need to do is you need to know the players who really matter to you in the beginning. So when you're developing an app, these are the players who will help you get started immediately. So ad networks. Ad networks are the one who are aggregating multiple publishers and representing them in front of the advertisers. Ad mediation. Ad mediation is a platform which helps you to work with multiple ad networks in a strategic manner and at the same time. So these platforms are very useful. Exchanges. Exchange is nothing but a platform which does help in automated buying and selling of ads. So a lot of this is picking up these days. So you will keep on hearing about more exchanges. And RTB. RTB is nothing but real-time bidding. So what we are seeing now is each and every impression is trying to get the most out of it. So we are trying to see that how you could get more out of each and every impression. So real-time bidding is just picking up. Most of the ad networks are trying to align towards it. Now, what this really is, so as I mentioned that we look at billions of impressions. Now, that's a large amount of data which we look at. What we really want to show today is all these insights to you, and we want to share our experiences with you. And for that, what I'd like to do is I'd like to invite Lohith, who's our product architect. He lives mobile daily. He sees this data. He gets all of this information, and he'll be able to share what exactly we are seeing and the potential problems we are seeing over here. There is a potential chance of doubling your revenue right away if you follow all of these issues and you're able to address these issues as they occur in the ad monetization business.
Yeah. Thank you, Vinay. Good afternoon, everyone. Before starting this, I'm going to assume few things. One is that you have built your own app, and then you have some traction on the app stores, and then you have also decided that you are going to use display ads for monetization. So having done that, I'm not going to dwell on the integration issues or the what kind of what is the best practices you want to follow while doing the integration and the technicality into it. But what I'm going to cover is because I mean we keep seeing these kind of issues on our network as well as on personally, I being a developer, I have seen so many smaller mistakes that could be easily corrected by putting some effort and thought process into it. So these are basically the 7 sins that potentially if you could avoid, uh, which should directly lead to increase in your revenue numbers. So to make it more interesting, what we have done is we have just put some ballpark percentage increase in the revenue that you could see for each of these scene. And then you can relate to it about the importance of missing out on the revenue numbers if you kind of are not or actually following this particular scene. So also let's talk about a little bit about the solution, which I'm going to elaborate more. So coming to the first scene, right? So inventory is not homogeneous. So what do we do? So as developers, right? I mean, we put in a lot of hard work. We put in a lot of thought process into our product to make sure that everything is right, and then we get onto the app store. We make sure that good testing happens, and then we hope that the product works. But we tend to forget or keep the integration or the ad integration part into the last. Just before the release, we tend to integrate and then make and then we don't delve into those details more elaborately. So typically, like what inventory is not homogeneous means, like you tend to do a lot of research in understanding your user, but at the same time we forget to kind of segment our inventory for advertising. So for example, as a developer, if I have an app store on my, if I have an app on any of the app store, I have multiple integration ways. I can go and directly connect to an ad network, or if I want to hedge my risk, and I would probably connect with an mediation platform. So having this many options, you have to really know your inventory, and especially if, for example, if you know that particular call or inventory is a premium inventory, you could you could give an option for an in-app sales rather than showing an ad to him. Or what you could do is you could actually combine something what Pratik talked about is like you could combine app analytics plus the SSP platform. What it really enables is like you can you can start collecting the data, you can segment the data, and then start taking some actions on that. For example, if you want to do cross promotion within your app, then you could use house or hosted ads support, which typically an SSP platform supports. So basically, like if we start putting more thought process, knowing more about the kind of inventory of the data, and then blindly sending a request to an ad network or a bunch of ad network, you could do a lot more tweaking in and learning about the monetization. And also one more thing this SSP platform enables is typically what we have seen is not all ad networks perform the same way across multiple geographies. So say a set of geographies could be strong in APAC region, and in North America it could be entirely different region. So if you go through this SSP kind of platform, then you could set rules based on specific to a country, then channel your request based on percentage allocation or waterfall model, and then try to monetize better. So these are some of the strategies you keep to iterate fast. In probably I would say in every development cycle you should give some thought process about is my ad monetization working? Can I try to tweak in some of these things, or put in some more effort to understand better to increase my revenue? And yeah, low signal quality. So this is one of the very easiest way of increasing your revenue, and it's one of the most important. So we have put it as like say 20% increase in your revenue number. So this is something what we have seen is like typically you once you have decided that you want to put in some ads into your application, you tend to open an integration guideline document, you select an ad network or a mediation partner or ad exchange, whatever it is. Then you try to go through the integration document and try to do a basic integration on top of it. But try to put in some more effort in actually sending the data that you have. For example, I mean, for any of the use case in your application, right, you could be probably collecting lat long. And if that is something which you can start passing into this partners SDK, then you can start getting more relevant ads, and it could directly result in increase of your eCPMs. So And also like your app, you could have some more information about your user itself. You could know his interest. You could know some keywords related to the keywords, or if it's an e-com app, you could know what is the category of the item that is purchasing. So all those things, if you start sending that data onto the network, it really helps the network to actually send you to send to the user a very relevant ad, which probably interests the user. He clicks on it, and that directly results in increase in the numbers. Having said that, in the future slide, I'll talk about the way usually ad networks collect the data in the anonymized way. So having sending these demog data and all should not be kind of a worry for a developer, because many of the ad networks make sure that all these things are aligned with the user policy, and all the PI information related to the user are protected. So what is the third scene? So as I said, like as developers, we usually like tend to put in not that much thought process into where do we kind of display the ad, what is the location, what is the ad slot. If you see any of the ad networks or mediation platforms, they support a bunch of ad slots. They support different ad formats, and they support they give you all the information regarding what is the kind of interaction that you should have, and what are the levers or controls that you have for each of these ad formats to optimize your revenue, or to increase your eCPMs. So one of the thing is like so one example is like, say, typically when we have to, one thing as a developer, I think everybody here agrees that we should not overload the user with ads, right? I mean, typically a developer would come to a app to consume the content of the app. So ad is something which we are trying to top it up to kind of to monetize the app. So with that, we usually, like what we have seen is some of our premium publishers, what they do is as soon as you open up an app, there's no ad over there. They allow the user to kind of get adjusted to the content of the app. Once he starts seeing it, there's an ad request made to the network, a relevant ad is got, and then is displayed on the screen. So one of the example is like the Angry Birds. Usually if you have played that app and then you have opened up, usually it takes like a bit of, once you start playing, it waits for some time, and then the ad is kind of got into the screen. And also as in your application, I assume like there's like a lot of workflows that happens, and at multiple points you also know what is, you could start gauging what is the mood of the user. For example, if it's a gaming application, and if he has won a level, then probably when you're moving from one level to another, try to squeeze in a interstitial ad, which is a full screen ad, and probably that mood is going to help the user is most probably going to kind of interact with the ad, and then it would definitely kind of increase your numbers. And also this is the most neglected part, I feel, regarding the ad exposure, the refresh rate. So in general, either the refresh rate is like, we constantly see that on a page, the ad is always, only one ad is shown until the user goes to other screen and come back, or the refresh rate is too heavy that it starts annoying the user experience of the application. So what you could use is, now most of the platforms, especially the mediation platforms, provide you a way of tuning your refresh rate on the portal. So you can integrate with an SDK, push your application, and then can start altering your refresh rates, and can start monitoring your eCPMs, and then try to gauge like what is the best refresh rate that works for your application. So keep changing this week on week, collect your data, analyze your data. Some of the platforms also provide history of the data. What was your eCPMs when the refresh, what was this? So you start doing that, and also one more important point is like, if you have multiple pages, multiple screens in your application, and try to not generalize your integration. Try to create a different slot IDs of for each of this page. Try to control it in a different way based on the use case of that particular screen. Okay, not optimizing for different ad formats. This is also one major thing. So as I said, like different ad networks have different ad slots, or most probably standardized, which follows IAB standards, and also different formats. So these are some of the things which you have to put in some more effort to understand and start optimizing for these ad formats. For example, the most widely used, like just the banner real estate and the interstitial ads. You have to remember that interstitial is not actually a banner ad. I've seen few developers actually show a banner ad as in the full screen interstitial ad. But actually interstitial ads provide you with a very powerful feature, which is it's a two-step load where you can make a request to an ad. Let's assume the user is reading an article, and just before he finishes reading his article, you make a request, prepare your interstitial ad, get it ready, and as soon as he completes the article and goes to home screen or to the next article, is when you can directly bring the interstitial. So there's no, the user experience will be good because there's no loading that is shown, and everything would have happened in the background, it would be ready. So all these things, if you start understanding the ad formats more and start optimizing for those, it would really start reflecting in your performance. And also, one example is like handle interaction callbacks correctly. So there are like various formats, like an expandable ad format, and typically in a gaming applications, if a expandable ad has been rendered and the user clicks on the ad and it expands partially or completely based on the ad creative or on the tablet or a phone, then there is like almost all the SDKs, like they try to give you a callback and tell you, hey, if you want to do some cleanup activities, if you want to pause your game, this is where you can do it. And try to take care of, try to understand these ad formats, how it works, what are the callbacks it gives, and then try to have a better user experience for the user. Yeah, no, so not respecting users' privacy. So this is something like, so how does, data is very important to all the ad networks and mediation platforms, right? So one important thing is like, as part of your integration with any of these ad networks, you have to provision for an anonymous ID collection. You make sure that the partner is actually collecting ID in an anonymized way, or even better, like having a secured transport layer so that no misuse happens in between. So make sure that once you have integrated, all this anonymized ID collection happens, because that is when the ad networks start doing data crunching, start monitoring the interest and of the user, starts learning about the user, and start delivering a more relevant ad, which directly results in the numbers. So and also we have to honor the user's privacy. I'm sure, like as a developer, directly like getting installed on the user's phone, you would have some privacy policy. Make sure that your privacy policy is like is in conjunction with what the partners you are kind of connecting to, and also there are like if most of the networks, I would say, like they would provide user opt-out as well, and these are some of the things that we have to take care, and also be privy of the the policy documents, right? The Apple's developer guideline or the Google Play policy documents, because they are the living documents. They keep changing. For example, Apple clearly says that if you want to pass lat long to any application, to any ad network or a mediation platform, that is something which you can't just use it for monetization purpose. You should have some use case within the app before you can pick up lat long from the phone and then can start passing on to the user. So be sensitive to these policies and then start respecting those. And one of the most other things, like as developers, right, we've put in a lot of effort in making our application not only good on smartphone but on tablets as well. Probably I want to have an Explorer kind of window on a tablet because it provides me obviously more real estate. So to take advantage of it, ad networks put tremendous effort to understand the tablet interactions and to come up with new ad formats, new ad slots for each of these tablet devices. So try to go through the documents or the integration guideline documents, try to see what is better for the tablets, and try to keep it separate from what you use it for smartphones. So try to not generically so you could be using a small 320 by 50 banner on a phone. Try not to use the same thing on a tablet. And this is the last and the most important sin that usually happens. What we see is, like, usually developers think that SDK integration or integration with any ad network or SSB platform is one-time work. You pick up whatever was the latest available SDK during your application building time before you push your application first time onto the app store and then forget it. But that's not the case. Any ad network or partner would be putting in tremendous effort in the background to make sure that whatever SDK that is latest put on is optimized for the latest platforms, because we see every 3 or 4 months or 6 months once there's a major release happening across multiple platforms, whether it be Android, Windows 8, iOS. So there's a lot of optimizations, there are a lot of bug fixes that going to happen, and more importantly, there's also with each SDK release, since I told App Store policies are a living document, so they keep changing. So all these SDKs kind of align to the latest App Store policies. One example I could give is, like, in the latest iOS 6 launch, right? Apple had deprecated the UDID usage from iOS 5, and with the iOS 6 launch, they came up with a new identifier, which they called it as identifier for advertising. Now this identifier for advertising, what they told was this should be used only for advertising, and then the UDID should be kind of deprecated. And also they enabled a flag wherein the end user could select that I am opting out of behavioral targeting or retargeting, but still this ID could be used for, say, frequency capping or conversion matching. So these are some of the policies that the SDK keeps adopting to it, and then always, like, bake in a little bit of dev. Dev usually, like most of the ad networks, they make sure that SDK are backward compatible, but at least the dev and QA cycle make sure that in every development cycle of yours, you bake in the integration effort for the newer SDKs. Yeah, and also one more thing that this helps is, like, I mean, there's a lot of innovation that is happening, right? With the newer devices coming, there's the Microsoft service that recently got launched. So there's newer ad format innovation that keeps happening, and with every launch of an SDK, there will be a new ad formats that is introduced, and that actually increases the user experience of the user, as well as try to increase the monetization numbers for you. So this becomes really very important. Yeah. So with this, I would again like to call upon.
Thanks, man. All right. So what's the future of advertising? We really think that for future, it's really bright. We all know that. But we as a company think that future is right now. Things are happening right now. So we are continuously trying to innovate for that, and we are trying to bring in new stuff which your developers can use. So what's there? What's there in the plate? Dual screen experiences. Developers have started thinking about dual screen experiences. They are building apps now which will support both kind of screens. So let's take an example. So if you're building an app for your content-based site, which has a lot of videos, you would probably want to think that how will my video look on a TV? So that's something which is much more innovative. A user is consuming the content on tablet, at the same time he is able to watch your content on the TV. So that's something which we are pretty excited about. What's next? In-app product placements. So as a developer, you are already thinking about user experiences. You are already thinking about how you can keep the developer engaged. So we think that in-app product placements is something which you would always like to do. And that's the future of advertising. You would want to bake in the ads inside the games which you are building. Not only games, it's inside the applications which you are building. So give your native experiences to the users when they are coming to you. So we do have some demos to show to how this really works. We'll try to set it up, just moving on. There are a lot of things in terms of rich media innovations also happening at the same time, which is we are trying to continuously innovate new ad formats, which will help you showcase what level advertising has already taken. So I have some demo right over here, which I can show to you. We'll try to pull it up. We'll try to see if we can show it right now. We are not able to set it up but yes, if you can zoom over here, I'll try to show you what this really is. Or
Check.
yeah. So let's just look at this app. So let's assume that this is an app which was built by you, which has all the listings. For this example, we have taken like an Amazon Kindle, which is the bookstore, and here's an ad for Audi A7. The ad opens up, which is a real experience and a full screen ad. Now the user can really navigate over here and see and play around, and oh, he has all the features. He can play around with the car and see. He can change colors. He can do multiple things over here. And let's go forward. Oh, there is some dew over here. Let's wash it out. Let's see how it looks like. So these are the level of innovations which we are trying to explore with. Gone are those days when you used to get vanilla banners, and when we were starting with punch the monkey type of ads. We are way too far from that. It's changed all now. And while we are changing it, we want to make sure that you guys understand it and how it will help you out in getting more money out of it.
So while we are trying to get Lohith set up on some stuff that he wants to show, we can probably start the Q&A and take a few questions while he's trying to get the setup done.
It's working? Yes, please.
Segmentation part of it, right? So how does your app strategy kind of goes with the user segmentation, and how do you match that together?
That's a very good question. So while we are thinking about these innovative products, and we are thinking about you need to drive engagement, and you need to monetize it in different way, this is one of the things which is always on our radar. So showing in-app purchases, tracking users is all one thing, but how do you monetize is also something which we always take care of. So in the product, you'll always see that you'll get an option to monetize apps for different segments of users. So when you create segments, you could create that certain piece of information or certain content should go to certain users. But while there are some users who are not buying anything, you probably are better off showing them ads. So you create those kind of segments, and you choose when to monetize and when not to monetize.
So you made a statement in the beginning saying 70% of people are watching the iPads, let's
Yes.
say. So which geography you were targeting, and what is your thought process about it?
So we keep on doing these surveys all the time. Most of the surveys keep on happening in the States. So that's what, how most of our data comes like. So we have been noticing this, and that's a user forum which we keep on doing all the time. So there is a lot of insights which we keep on doing this. You can check it all on our website. It's available freely. Just go to inmobi.com, insights. You'll get all of this data and how we have got it over there. Right. So that's a good question again. So what we are seeing is that it is growing. There are smart TVs which are coming online. So this is a new genre of devices which are coming over there, and we think that there is a bright future when a developer starts thinking in that way. So the ecosystem depends on the developers and how they are adopting to it. So once you start